So how do you make antifreeze? You take away her blanket. Auntie. Oh man.
Perfect.
Right, the Air 180. Where do I start? Sometimes it does get forgotten about, similar to the Air Max 98 and I'd say the Air Max BW, but they've finally retroed this year. In today's episodes, we are looking at the Nike Air 180 Dusty Cactus. So the 180, originally releasing in 1991, it was amongst that sort of era with the Air Max 1, with the Air Max 90, where the Air Max line was slowly finding its feet. And hence the name 180. It was the first sneaker to show a visible air unit at 180 degrees. Not only was it visible in the midsole, but you could also see it around the outsole too. Now for all the new sneakerheads, just think of the Air Max 270 and I'd say the 720 as well. Without the 180s, yeah, those two wouldn't exist. Now in terms of colorways to Air Max sneakers, I definitely put the OG Air Max 180 in there too. The Ultramarine, an absolute gem when it comes to summer bangers in my opinion. And I think the next on the list would be the Concord colorway that we had recently too. Now it was made famous by MJ wearing it in the Barcelona Olympics in 1992. So that's why that sneaker does have a lot of buzz. Now when it comes to the box, it's kind of cool how Nike have done it. In terms of the color of it, it's kind of in the middle of a silver / dark gray, but I really like how they've included the 180 branding sort of on half of the panels. And a bit more nostalgia there too. We've got the orange Nike Air badge on the right side and the left. Now the product sticker does read Nike Air 180 and the official colorway is black, alabaster and dusty cactus. So it looks like they've dropped the whole Air Max 180 and gone back to the Air 180, which is kind of cool. It separates this retro from previous years. And a lot of people didn't like the last retro, I believe was in 2018. They didn't like the shape, the length of the tongue, and also the sort of slope to it as well. And the biggest sort of switch up to this year's model is the air unit. Now we know about all the hoo-ha when it came to the Air Max 1 86 big bubble cuts. A lot of people didn't like it. I do get it, but I don't think we have that problem on this 180. For me, it definitely suits the shoe a lot more because of the cut and yeah, the midsole as well. So when it comes to sizing, the Air 180 for me is a true to size. Although this shoe does have that sort of lifted feel towards the back, very similar to the Air Max 720. Now it's nowhere near on that level, but yeah, I definitely noticed that on foot. Now it's not a constrictive shoe in terms of the width of it, but I have noticed it is a bit of a narrow shoe in general. So maybe, just maybe, if you are wide footed, then yeah, go half a size up. Other than that though, stick true to size. So I've said it before, the Air 180 or Air Max 180, whichever one you're going for, is kind of a niche shoe, you know, especially in the Air Max family. Just like I mentioned earlier, it's very similar to the 98 and the BW. Just because they do retro here and there, but at the same time, they don't really stay around for too long. It's a shame though, because all three of those sneakers have such a cult following. But the Dusty Cactus is by far one of the best Air 180s you can get right now. And dare I say it, ever. There are a couple nitpicks here and there, like that felt on the overlays. Yes, that's going to collect a lot of dust. I mentioned it recently when I spoke about the Air Max 1 black and white. It's the same situation here. Looks amazing out of the box, but as soon as you blink, it's covered in dust. Where the Nike swoosh is in that sort of creamy color, underneath that, we do have that sort of see-through mesh, which is nice and breathable. But that does change though to the overlays towards the forefoot. It has more of a structure. Defo more of a shine, but I'm liking the look. Now I've always loved the 180, from the cut being a sort of lifted Air Max compared to a 90 or a 1. For me, it's always stood out in the right way. But yeah, this does come with black laces, and I wouldn't be mad if you wanted to swap them out for a cream pair or an off-white. And I love what they've done with this tongue. They've sort of shortened it compared to the 2018 pair, but yeah, still a nice stretch to it with that neoprene material. Got the 180 Air logo there in that sort of teal colorway, and the sock liner is in that sort of cream, but yeah, that's definitely gonna get dirty. A lovely hit of that sort of teal again though on the insole with that Nike International badge there. Now what does return in that blue is the Nike Air logo, a lovely sort of retro hit with that skinny font. And just below that, we've got that heel stabilizer in blue. Now, one of the reasons why the Air 180 has always stood out amongst other Air Max sneakers, even way back then, is the exposed air unit and the midsole. Like I said earlier, it is slightly lifted towards the back, but we've got hits of black here with that blue. And if you look carefully, we have that sort of embossed 180 towards the back. Now, it's funny because they've made this year's air unit a lot bigger, but it's so much more stiff. Now, in terms of durability, that's absolutely great, but when it comes to the on-foot experience, yeah, way more firm than what I'm used to. But either way, a lovely look to it, and the outsole just the same. We've got the classic 180 waffle design to it in that sort of cream, that black, and that blue. And not to forget that translucent panel that exposes the air unit a little bit more. So the 180 for me has always been a sort of niche Air Max, you know, it's here for a good time, not a long time. But I'm really liking how Nike have sort of dished out the releases this year. Yes, the Ultramarines were super hard to get on release. The Concords weren't really my thing. Why did I say it like that? Concords. The dusty Cactus though, it seems to be sitting, but at the same time, I'm not mad because I actually like this colorway. But broskies, I think it's about time that we decide together whether these are a buy or a buy. Now, I'm a big Air Max guy. I've always have been. I think I always will be. And about 95% of videos on this channel have been Air Max sneakers. But it's crazy to think this is the first time an Air 180 has featured on this channel. Criminal, actually. It's absolutely criminal. And to be honest, there's a couple reasons. I didn't really start doing sneaker content, I believe, until like 2019. And I didn't really collect as much as I do now until like late 2018. So I'm glad the Air 180 has finally made its comeback. But with all the things I do love about the shoe, when it comes to the materials, the shape, the on-foot experience, them being so damn comfortable. Now, the only negative though, is these are a dust magnet. And I know it's not that deep. You can lint roll them, put them in a box, a display crate, or whatever, and you're good to go. But with over 24 hours with this shoe, I've had to lint roll them at least 3 times just for content. But that's just me being a sneaker Karen. Other than that though, this shoe and this colorway, yeah, it's an absolute buy. But comment down below and let me know what you think about the Air 180. Is it one of the best Air Max that Nike offer, or is this an absolute miss? Leave it all down there and I will read out the best comments in my next video. Now, the comment of the day is from the live stream from yesterday with me and Hass, and this one, yeah, couldn't agree more. It's from the Broski, Yo Ray, and he says the Casinas are so good. He's obviously talking about the Air Max 1 Casinas because we did touch on that a little bit in the live stream, how underrated they were and how good they look too. Don't forget guys, I've started up a Discord group. Finally, you guys have asked for it, so join it. The link will be down below. And yes, until the next episode, take care.